Did you know that there is a new saddle pad on the block in the barrel racing world? I introduce you a saddle pad that I've been using this summer called Unity Pad. In this video, I'm going to tell you why I really enjoy using these pads and give a full review on these two saddle pads. To start off, I'm going to show you the two sizes. So this is a 1/2 inch and this is a full inch. I wanted to try either because I figured with the amount of horses and different saddles I'm using that I'd definitely get good use out of both of them. The most interesting thing though about this that I'm going to share later in this video that I discovered. There's one very interesting feature that I really like that will make this saddle pad stand out from the other ones you see, and that is a completely seamless saddle pad. So as you see in the inside, there's absolutely no stitching, no leather patches on the top, which you might find in some other saddle pads. Just as a comparison, something like this. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love my 5-star pads, and I do have a video review reviewing 5-star pads if you want to check that video out, but I have actually really liked the fact that there's no seam and no wither hole. In the Unity pad, there's no wither, just a completely contoured fit. That's super important for barrel horses. This horse behind me, his name is Jet, and I'm gonna demonstrate on him. He'll be our model, and he's gonna really demonstrate the importance of having a contoured fit, especially with a high wither horse. So let's go. This is Jet, and I'm gonna demonstrate why I really like the seamless, completely contoured pad that the Unity pad offers. So the first thing I noticed is, one, I've used this pad on all variety of horses. The first horse I'm going to show you this on, I think, is a really good example of what a high wither barrel horse can look like and how important it is to have a wither that gives, or a saddle pad that gives clearance so his wither and shoulders can move freely. So I'm going to put this on, and just even right there, as you can see, it really pops up right here and gives him that clearance that we are looking for. You can really see how this gives him space right in there. I can fit my hand in and it just contours that spot really nicely. So look at the contour of this pad and how it fits with his fin underneath. So right now there are two different pads that they have available. This is the 1 inch. And my discovery is that I found out I really enjoy the 1 inch. I've never used one before, but after a couple horses of different saddles, I found that the 1 inch really gave me really good contact. It gave the saddle, it felt really nice on them. The reason I like the 1 inch a bit more as opposed to the 1/2 inch is the 1/2 inch is a lot more flimsy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because we do, I think oftentimes as barrel racers, we want good contact. Honestly, just horseback riders in general, we want to feel like we're really sitting on the horse, where sometimes too bulky a pad makes us feel like we're kind of perched on top of them, not really sitting really deep on their back. So this is the 1/2 inch. As you can see, it is quite a lot smaller. It's a lot more flimsy, and I'll show you what that looks like on them. And it's all just kind of preference of what you're looking for, what fits your horse the best. I didn't use this one as much, maybe just because my saddles are a bit more wider, where I felt like the 1 inch filled out my saddle a bit better on their back, where this would be good if your saddle's a bit smaller of a fit, and also just kind of preference. Also, I found it really helped my saddles from slipping because it's all one piece of wool. It helps the saddle from slipping, where I find some of the ones that have wither openings, the saddle might slip a little bit, and it's actually really shocking how much a saddle pad makes a difference. So if you're interested in learning more about how much a pad really impacts your horse, I suggest you give us a follow, because we're going to be doing a saddle review, saddle fitting video with Britt from Britt's Corner, and we're going to go over saddle fitting all in its entirety of the saddles, the girths, the cinches, same thing, and the pads especially, and how much it makes a difference. We're going to be featuring the Unity pads in that to show how much it actually impacts your saddle fit. So if you are struggling with your saddle, I recommend, instead of getting a new saddle, just try maybe a different pad. Try, if you have a bigger one, try the 1 inch, try the 1/2 inch, try a 3/4, and see if that makes any difference with your saddle fit, especially trying ones that don't have the wither opening. Something like this, where it has the contoured spot, might be more what you need, because it does help it from rolling. Again, just because it's one solid piece, it's not flimsy. It's like it's a solid pad. It's not going anywhere. I've really enjoyed my experience with them for that reason. All right, so we are now in the arena, and I'm going to show you on Jet here the saddle I've been using and which Unity pad I would use with him, and I'm gonna show you the difference between the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch pad. So for a little bit of context with this horse, we just got him in a little while, about a month ago, and we're trying to build up his top line. So my philosophy was to use a bit of a bigger saddle that gave him room to fill it in. But with that being said, I felt like I needed a thicker pad. So right now I have the 1/2 inch pad, and just to experiment, I'm gonna put the saddle on and see how it fits. I have been using the 1 inch, so this will be interesting to see the difference. So to be totally honest, it actually doesn't fit too bad. I have a lot of space up here for his wither. The saddle itself is a little bit bigger than maybe he needs, but I feel like we could probably upgrade to the 1/2 inch at some point in time. Key things to look at is how much space he has in here. He has really good clearance for that big wither of his. Also keep in mind that you want the pommel of your saddle not to hit his wither. So that's also important just for saddle fitting itself. Also back here, you do want space in there, which there is. The saddle pad is filling up that space, so he has lots of clearance through his back and down his wither there. So that's really awesome. So because this is a bit of that thinner pad, I feel like the saddle is a little too wide for him still. But again, we're hoping that maybe we can graduate with the thinner pad once he fills out. The reason I just feel like it might be a little too thin, has a little bit too much pressure there. I just feel like maybe, you know, he needs a little bit more support from the pad. So now we got the 1 inch pad, and we're gonna see what the saddle looks like with that. This fits just really nicely right there, right on his wither. I think right when you first put the saddle on, you wanna go up here. You could go this way, lift it up, and then slide it back to where the saddle is gonna kind of naturally sit. It just kind of likes to find its spot on the horse's back. Honestly, I have pretty good clearance all the way back. There's space here, there's space right here for him as well, and the saddle itself sits pretty balanced. But wait, before you go, I have to show you this horse, who is the complete opposite of Jet that you just saw, and how I use the exact same saddle pad. This is Barb, and as you can see, she is a very flat-backed horse. There's not a ton of wither. She's very round and rolly. A saddle might have a hard time staying on her just because she is quite round barreled, as opposed to the other guy who has a fin that's gonna anchor any saddle basically on his back. But the interesting thing is I use the same 1 inch pad on her as well. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. When I set it on, I just kind of slide this where it wants to go, which her withers are right here. And honestly, it fits her so well. It just sits nicely. There's no popping up in the back, which is important. You don't want one that has a lot of rock like this unless your horse has a lot of rock. So the fact that this can fit quite a rocky horse, or it can fit a pretty flat horse, definitely says something about the pad and the versatility that it offers. So with her, I use this. It gives her the wither space. It doesn't have a ton of rock. It sits nice and flat back here, so a saddle's gonna be very balanced, even pressure. And I've really enjoyed it on her as well. And I think she has too. So like I said, if you are on the market, give Unity brand a try, get both sizes, see what works, experiment. That's the only way we can really learn, is just by trying different things. And I just suggest you keep an open mind to that. When there's a new opportunity in any way, shape, or form, be open-minded to see if it might be a better fit for you. And that's with anything: products, mindset, your horses, your techniques, your riding. Like if there's any new way that maybe you could do something that is different, just give it a shot and see what happens. You might be pleasantly surprised, like I have been with using Unity pads. So this is the end of my video. I hope you like it. If you would like to see more, just let me know in the comments. Any suggestions, any questions you have about Unity pad, I'll be happy to answer them for you. And we will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.